Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Go Home Ryan, and today I'm doing something a little bit different. I recently was invited to a PowerPoint party in which everybody had to make up PowerPoints about their interests or about weird things that they found in the world, or about conspiracy theories or things like that. And I wanted to share my presentation with you all because it kind of relates to some of the stuff that I deal with on my channel, particularly movies. So without further ado, let's just hop right into the presentation. Is that cool? Yeah, okay. So it's the year 1972, and somewhere deep within the Scandinavian mountains, a man uncovers 4 totems hidden away in a cave. He decides to bring them home and clean them up, and it's only then that he discovers that the totems are alive and can sing, and boy, do they sing. So here is a pictorial representation of that man finding the totems in the mountain. I am not a good drawer, so I apologize in advance, but yeah, there weren't any pictures readily available, but I needed to do something about that. So the man decides to name the totems, and these are what the totems look like. He decides to name them Bjorn, Agnetha, Anni-Frid, and Benny. And from those 4 names, ABBA is Bjorn. But what the man does not realize is that the totem singing has opened up an unstable pocket parallel universe where they are deities, and the only music that exists in that universe is music that they create here in our universe. And by naming the totems, the man has stabilized the parallel universe, setting forth a tragic sequence of events covered by a duology of documentaries that became popularized as works of fiction within our universe, otherwise known as Mamma Mia. This is Mamma Mia Behind the Miaverse, conspiracy theory by me, Ryan, your host, otherwise known as how Mamma Mia is actually a narrative about resistance and religious persecution. So, if you ever watched the Mamma Mia movies, you know that there is only one rule to the Miaverse, right? You can see them in both Mamma Mia and Mamma Mia Here We Go Again. So first and foremost, the only rule that exists in the Mamma Mia universe is that inhabitants must worship ABBA by singing ABBA songs and ABBA songs only. It's just a requirement for them, right? In order to show their worship, in order to show their dedication to ABBA, the god of this parallel pocket universe, they must only sing ABBA songs. And singing is not the same thing as chanting. In the first movie, within the first 5 minutes, there are several chants that are made, or within the first 10 minutes, there are several chants that are made, both by 2 different groups of characters, right? And ABBA God in this parallel universe isn't threatened by these chants, right? It's not the same thing as singing, right? There's no production behind it. It's not creative necessarily in the same way that a song is. So ABBA doesn't feel threatened by chanting, right? Allows chanting to happen, but they do feel threatened by singing. So singing is not the same thing as chanting. Chanting is not the same thing as singing. Inhabitants of this universe can chant, but they cannot sing other songs, right? And the other thing you should know is that violators of this rule may be smote by ABBA, which smote is the past tense of smite, if you did not know. Smote by ABBA and placed into purgatory. It's a thing, and we'll get right into that. So, the story of Mamma Mia focuses on 2 tragic characters, Donna Sheridan and her daughter Sophie. So the first movie follows Sophie, Sophie and Donna, 2 parishioners of their local church of ABBA, as they navigate Sophie's wedding. Sophie is looking into Donna's past lovers because she believes one of them to be her father, which we won't get into that much, but if you haven't seen the movie, you should check it out and get that background context. But another thing you should know about Donna is that she was formerly a lead singer of a band known as Donna and the Dynamos. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks who have seen Mamma Mia, but I believe that to be the name of the band, Donna and the Dynamos. And of course, they're an ABBA cover band because they exist in this universe where only ABBA's music exists, right? And they're only worshiping ABBA, and to do anything other than that would be blasphemous. And so Mamma Mia, the first movie, lays out the religious culture and customs of the Miaverse. It shows us that Everybody knows the verses of ABBA. They frequently write down the verses of ABBA in their diaries as they're recording their experiences, and everybody holds those near and dear to their heart and can recite them at any point in time. And somehow everybody knows about the verses of ABBA, and so it's a whole thing. And they also participate in similar religious customs to Christians of this particular universe, right? So there are christenings that happen. They do get married in churches at the Church of ABBA, and they dedicate their children to ABBA, the god. It's a whole thing. Just something you have to realize. You can dance, you can die. So in Mamma Mia, here we go again. We discover that Donna is dead, and no reason is given for her death. The other inhabitants refuse to speak about her death. It's a little weird. They hang out, and every time somebody tries to talk about how Donna died or why Donna died, everybody chokes up and they aren't able to talk about it. It's just a little odd. And the only time we see Donna is toward the end of the movie. Spoiler alert, I apologize in advance. The only time we see Donna is toward the end of the movie, where she's a ghost haunting her grandchild's ABBA christening, right? She's at this church, and she appears randomly and touches Sophie's face, as you see in this picture right here, and then disappears. It's a whole thing. It's a little weird. So, of course, the second movie, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, begs two questions, really. What happened to Donna, first and foremost? And then two, why was her death so unspeakable? What was so tragic about her death that we and the characters, the inhabitants of this particular pocket universe, cannot speak about it? They can't say anything, right? What's so tragic about Donna's death? So, I guess you could first and foremost say, hey, Ryan, what makes sense here is that, like, when people grieve, sometimes they don't want to talk about things that make them sad, right? They don't want to talk about the thing that they're grieving about. And to that I say, like, true, that could be true. Certainly there are people that exist that don't want to talk about the things that make them upset. But hear me out. Like, most of Donna's family, or at least a lot of her lineage, appears in this movie, and her friends and everything. Certainly, some of the characters that were really talky in the first movie would be talky in the second movie, and would have something to say about what happened to Donna, right? Somebody would have at least offered like a very quick explanation, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be something that's so deep or so involved, right? That would be great, but it wouldn't be that. But they would offer something, right? So I'll say, like, we'll table grief for a second, right? We'll table that aside and say, so grief aside, I posit that the reason that inhabitants can't talk about Donna Sheridan's death is because she blasphemed God, ABBA, by singing an original song and was subsequently smoked and sentenced to purgatory. And I bet you're saying, like, at this point, Ryan, that's a hop, skip, leap, and a jump. How did we get here from Mamma Mia, right? Like, how did we get there? And I'll just say, I think there's some evidence that I've already offered to you, that I've already given you, but we'll bring back up again, that supports my theory. So what evidence supports this? One, Donna was formerly a singer, which means she had that creative bug in her body. She had the bone she could flex. She knew a way to exist in the world, right, that allowed her to interact creatively with it. And so it doesn't surprise me that maybe she would want to go out and write an original song that wasn't necessarily something that she had been singing her entire life, and other people in her circle had been singing their entire lives, right? I think there was space for Donna to do something like that. Two, the inhabitants dare not speak of Donna's blasphemous acts unless they blaspheme ABBA, the god themselves. Of course they wouldn't want to speak about what happened to Donna, because if they speak about what happened to Donna, it's taboo. ABBA could re-show with their wrath and come back and, smite them too, and that's the last thing they want to happen. So of course they wouldn't want to talk about her blasphemous acts. Number three, she shows up as a ghost, bound to a church, only able to witness her family's moments of happiness from afar. This is the purgatory that I was talking about in the prior paragraph, right? ABBA so angry and so upset about the fact that Donna had the nerve, the gall, just anything, right, to go and write an original song and sing this original song, decided, hey, you know what, I know what you care about, I know who you love, I'm going to bind you in a place of significance to you and your family, and only allow you to witness their moments of joy and their moments of happiness from 5 feet away, right? From another plane, the supernatural. You can't participate anymore because you've had that privilege revoked, right? That's what's going on here. Another thing I didn't mention, another piece of evidence I didn't mention, is that Cher is in Mamma Mia. Here we go again. Like as Cher, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mamma Mians, but as Cher, and she doesn't sing any songs by Cher. She sings songs by ABBA. I would think, yeah, okay, like, yeah. Ryan, it's a jukebox musical. Of course, they're only singing ABBA. That aside, right? Like, it's Cher, you know. If she's a celebrity in this other universe, you would think she would be singing some version of her own songs, or at least a song that she was featured in. And like, no, she's singing ABBA songs, and it's just, I feel like that's more evidence that, you know, this is a universe that was taken over by, or at least started by, ABBA, this this pantheon of gods, right? That you know, only allows ABBA songs to be sung. And then number 4, how else was I supposed to find joy watching these movies? The first movie, I'm just gonna be real with you, to me was a 6.5 out of 10. The second movie was about a 7. And most people I think will flip those scores, but I just had a really good time with the second movie. I'm not gonna lie, because it led me to actually coming up with something like this. So how else was I supposed to enjoy this movie is without coming up with some weird conspiracy theory about it all, right? I don't know. So I say all that to say Donna was the casualty of a jealous and vengeful god taken far too soon for daring to challenge tradition. And so my conclusion is that the Miaverse isn't just a duology of jukebox musicals featuring beloved songs from a band that everyone knows and loves. Rather, it's the sad tale of a woman who risked everything to try to resist an authoritarian god and found in the end that she couldn't. My, how can I resist you indeed? Finn. Dedicated to the memory of Donna Sheridan, a mother, pioneer, and leader of the resistance. In all things, strive to be like Donna. Fight and give it everything that you have. Yeah, I just, it's silly, right? Until next time. Later, Gators.